Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Folks, welcome in. This is your Uncle Steve here. Simulcasting live on Facebook in the Atlanta Bird Gang. Thanks to Tidy and John for letting me follow up with, I'm sure, feelings that just go all across the board with this thing. This is unbelievable. It hasn't even been, I don't even think it's been 2 hours yet. And still I'm still trying to grasp the reality of what happened. Bottom line is the Atlanta Falcons lost the game today, 21-16. And while a lot of times we look at things and when we control our own fate, in other words, there are a lot of things that the Falcons could have done that would have helped to win the game. But I think momentum to me is something that's very important. It happens when you're in the stadium. I think last week the same thing happened on the drive against Cleveland when Arthur Smith decided to run the ball 10 times, run it right down their throat, change of momentum, Falcons go on to win. Same thing happened to me. Exact same thing happened against Tampa Bay. 6 straight runs, touchdown, momentum shift. Go down and score, 2-point conversion. Anybody who was watching that game could have seen where Big Mo was going. Big Mo was going in our direction. And yes, we could have played a better first half. Yes, we could have protected Mariota a little better. Yes, Mariota could have made some better throws. Yes, we could have done things along the way to the fourth quarter. But the unnecessary roughness call in the fourth quarter against Grady Jarrett, who would have, for the third straight week, sparked a comeback or a sealing of the game with his sacks. It was just too obvious, folks. The whole game, it was the Tom Brady show. The whole broadcast. I saw more stats about Tom Brady. Tom Brady was drafted as a baseball player. Tom Brady has 500 wins in his career. Tom Brady has whatever. And I'm also not naive enough to not get it. I get it. Tom Brady's won 7 Super Bowls. Of course he's going to get the love. There's nobody that's going to, you don't have to explain that to me. I get it. But when we were making this entire retirement show for Tom Brady during today's game, it's just ridiculous. And then when it spills over to the field to probably the worst head referee in the game in Jerome Bolger, and it just seems like every time there's something controversial, every time there's something that's just off, he's always in the middle of it. Always. And so to me, I just think that's ridiculous. How y'all doing today? Glad to join us, especially those of you join me on YouTube on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. We are dang near close to 800 subscribers, and I appreciate that. Trying to get the road to 1,000. So hopefully if you guys get a chance, just spread the love over there. Let me go to you guys on here. I see Philip says, all I can say is, wow, man, Phil. I was just speechless, man. I thought that was a game. That was a game-turning play. And for you to define that as unnecessary roughness, you might as well just let them start playing with flags. And I mean that seriously. Grady hit him center mass. And when he pulled him up, let me tell you what would have happened. If he doesn't pull Tom Brady over, Tom Brady was still in a throwing motion. And you know good and well if Tom Brady would have released that pass and got a completion, the in the grass stuff would have been out of the realm, and they would have given him that. So it's unbelievable, man. But yeah, Philip, same thing. Brandon was going on, said we got robbed in broad daylight without a gun. That's about the size of it. That's about the size of it. John says, I'll send you something in a little bit, John. Let me get my first part out a little bit because I know you've been talking all hour. I'll put you on in a minute. Jack Doe, what's going on, man? Said Brady has NFL immunity, starting with the tuck rule, deflate gate, illegal practices during COVID, today's fantasy personal fouls. I mean, and the great thing is, folks, this is going to be national. This is going to be a national thing. They're going to have this on ESPN. They'll have it on Fox Sports. They'll have it on all of the sports channels about how they protect Tom Brady. Tom Brady was protected. Let nobody fool you. Tom Brady was absolutely protected in this game. And it's ridiculous. Folks, start talking to me on Uncle Steve's Lounge. What's going on, brother? Say, we got screwed. No other way to say it. No other way to say it. Facebook user, I cannot see the names on here. So if you get a chance, if you don't see your name pop up on there, let me know who you are so I can know who I'm talking to. Say the momentum change, and here comes the call that's shaking up the NFL right now. And I'm telling you, man, this is one of those calls that's going to be scrutinized because everybody knows, listen, what have we all been saying? Tom Brady's the oldest quarterback. Tom Brady. Well, you know what? Tom Brady decided to come out there and play. You can't change the rules for him because he's older. He's got to get hit just as hard. I'm going to tell you what. It was a couple of hits Mariota got hit today that I would have called unnecessary. But in a critical part of the game, and I'll even go back to the holding call that was on a couple of plays previous to that, that wasn't holding. That can't be holding in a 5-yard box. That could not be holding. But it's frustrating, man. Tampa Bay saw the momentum going their way. Those defensive linemen looked defeated. Atlanta ran straight down their throats in the second half. I can't even speak to what happened in the first half. But I do know in the second half, they were getting tired. Another, we got screwed. Yeah, that's pretty much the thing. We got screwed. We absolutely did. Bobby, what's going on, man? Says it's funny how we say Brady or any other player cheats when he's never the one on the field to make the penalty call on the play. I get it, but those old narratives have dry paint on it at all. But yeah, I mean, listen, that call was as blatant as you can put, man. I'm sorry. That was a bad call. And I think that was a Brady protection call. That was a straight up Brady protection. Bolger couldn't even explain it correctly. That was a horrible call. Mike, what's going on? So tell us how you really feel, Unc. I feel like we were a victim today. We were absolute victim. And these games, y'all, you know, when you start talking about, you only got 17 of these. And so not only that being a division game too, it's not our fault that Tampa Bay started peeing out at the end. Shoot, they struggled on that drive to get first downs. We gave them 2 allegedly through penalty. They were struggling. So I don't know. Maybe that's something we do. Maybe we wear teams down and do that. So I don't know. Jimmy said we got BS. That's the only way to say it. I hear you. So I'm interested in seeing the post-game interviews. Yeah, that's the one thing. I've been busy on a couple of shows I really want to see the post game with Arthur Smith, especially. He can't say a lot about it and everything. Now let's not get it twisted, folks. I don't want to absolve the Falcons 100%. Yeah, there was some not good play in that first half, and had we even kept this closer, maybe we wouldn't have to depend on that play. So I don't want anybody to say it was 100% that particular the penalty was 100% the reason we lost, but it dang sure seemed like it. Robinson said, "Oh, Vegas called, so we got robbed." Well, the thing is, actually, for the fifth straight game, we actually beat the for the fifth straight game, we actually won against the spread because we were 9.5-point underdogs. So if you put money on that game, you actually did pretty well. Christian, what's going on, man? Said that sack was our momentum to give Brady and the Bucks the L. Brady had been a pain in behind this year. I blame him for Mike Evans gets suspended. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Breaking computer pads, and I hope Giselle takes everything. Yeah, man. I feel you 100%. It's very easy to see how this pattern of protect Tom Brady happens all the time. It really is. Dave, what's going on? David said, I'm not buying the BS explanations. I don't blame you. Philip said, can't remember who said it, but no other quarterback wouldn't have gotten that call. They wouldn't have. And again, I can't wait for later on to see, excuse me, some of the especially the football players. I'm very interested to hear from the former players, to hear what their opinion of that was, because that was a game-changing play. That would have made it fourth down. They would have had to punt, and judging by the way we were going down, we probably would have beat them. Facebook user says refs should be suspended a few games, bad call. And you know, they do evaluations on referees for stuff like that. And it's such a critical part of the game, man. Listen, they're human. I'm not trying to act like I'm perfect, but yeah, that's a call that you can't mess up, man. You can't mess that call up. You cannot. You got to do better. You got to. All right, what's going on, Unc? I'm pissed, but I'm honestly thought we were going to get blown out, but I love the effort by our team. And look, that's the part that really gets swept under the rug. The Atlanta Falcons, I'm trying to tell you, if you haven't figured it out 5 games in, this is a different squad. This is a different squad. This is a different culture. This is a different MO. These guys are not only trying to win, but they juicing every second out of the clock. This is the fifth straight game that went down to the last 3 minutes of the game. The fifth straight. So it doesn't take a genius to figure out that type of mentality is going to be successful. Well, that mentality is going to help you be successful later on down the road. Absolutely it will. David says, and decided that against his wife's wishes. Hey, man, I try not to get into the personal because, you know, again, that's between him and his wife. But at the same time, I also say, whew, that's tough. He was only 2 yards on the route when they threw the flag. And if you're talking about the AJ Terrell phantom holding call. If you look at the play, AJ didn't even hold him. He put hands on him. You are allowed to do that. Dude had not gotten to your 2 yards. I don't even think it was 1.5 yards. And when he went inside, AJ let go. But again, I think just the coddling, I won't even point to that play as much because holding is, you know, sometimes folks are half and half about that. That was a horrible call. Not as horrible as the eventual call against Grady. That was a clean sack, and they knew we had it. Yep. Tim, what's going on? Saying we were a game decision away from first place without key players. Wait till we see them all, our key players back. And it's interesting. Not one time. The commentators kept talking about it, but and we missed CP and Kyle Pitts. We absolutely missed them. Because I think with them in the game, we might be talking about some different things here. But we missed them. But I like the fact that the folks who jumped in their place just filled in and tried to do what they need to do to help this team win. And what can you ask to be in the middle of the fourth quarter with an opportunity to win? Dave says it's hard enough to win in this league, and that's what I'm saying. Jerome Bolger, man, I'm just saying, and I know he's a homeboy, so I get it, man. I get it. I know he's from Atlanta. I know he went to HBCU. I know that, but dude, you're off. Corey, what's going on, man? Good, yeah. Say you're right, and you know what? I want to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong, but I can't. Jonathan, what's going on? Jonathan says the NFL is protecting Brady for his last ride. That's what it looks like to me. Somebody tell me, how can I not think that? That was like one of the most blatant protection calls that you're ever going to see. I don't know how else you can put it, man. Shen, what's going on, brother? Y'all make sure y'all check Shen out. And I know Shen was probably on TV today. I almost can't wait to see you. He's on the Dixon Way on YouTube. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to his YouTube channel. I'm looking forward to seeing your reaction on that Grady play because I'm just lost, man. I'm just lost. The refs straight cheated us. The narrative of Brady is still undefeated against the Falcons was more important than calling the play correctly. And that could have been it too. Because you were seeing, dude, they were right. They were pretty much delivering our eulogy early in the fourth quarter. And then the script got changed. The script was changed later on. And it's just a horrible, it's horrible, man. Tim said, on another note, Huntley looks like a stud to me. I'm going to tell you something. Not only does Huntley look like a stud, the running game for this team is for real, man. We ran for 150 yards for, I think, the fourth time out of 5 games. I'm going to give y'all the stats real quick. Mariota ran 7 times for 61 yards, and it was effective running today. Algier, 13 carries, 45 yards. Huntley, 8 carries, 34 yards. And then, of course, Avery Williams with the touchdown. Arthur Smith is sticking to his guns about running this ball. And that's something we haven't seen in Atlanta in a while. And I think it's paying dividends. Now, today, of course, we're going to look at it as I can't look at it. It is a loss. But he's staying true. And I think by giving these young guys these carries right now, look, you got to look past the future when CP is 32 years old. I mean, if Huntley and Algier are going to be here, let's feed them. And today, against a really good front seven, they ran for 151 yards today as a team. I don't know. I like that. Dre is on YouTube on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Hey, I know you hate when you talk about your boy Stevie Wonder, but they were back on. Dre, you ain't no good, man. But you know what? I might have to give a Stevie reference today because them boys acted like they were all singing Superstition the way they were looking at that play, man. All of them were blind today. I hear you, Dre. Tidy, what's going on, brother? Tidy, led things off today as usual, man. And I was listening to you guys, man. It's just crazy. Grady Jarrett declined to talk to reporters after the game. I don't blame him. Dude, that was stolen, man. That was just straight up stolen. You can run that play back for me 10 times, and there is no way you can say unnecessary roughness. I almost wish they'd do that play like they do the targeting, like when they do targeting in college, where they get to look unnecessary. If it's going to cost me 15 yards in the first down, you need to let me replay that. If it's something that's going to cost me that many yards and cost me a momentum-changing swing at the end of a divisional game, if you're going to do all that, then you need to give me the opportunity to see that again. Because I guarantee you, if they send that up to New York and they say that and they see that stuff, New York is like, no, man, Brady got his butt sacked. Put him down. Corey said, we were on our way to victory. We absolutely were. Ball Star said, the refs should have come face-to-face with the media after the game because they are too close to the game outcome to not to answer for the firing squad. Now, Tidy earlier, and I know if you guys didn't get a chance to see, Tidy actually had a statement from them. Tidy, I don't know if you have that to either send to me or if you feel like if you want to, obviously, come sneak in real quick and read that form, because that to me, the explanation still didn't make any sense. It still did. So, I mean, that's not good. Rakita Johnson is listening to me on Uncle Steve's Lounge. NFL memes post a penalty and tagged it. NFL refs declare tackling illegal. You need to send that to me if they did. Trust me. Sis, that was some horrible call today. Absolutely horrible. My brother Ryan Walker, the historian here in the Atlanta Bird Cage, he does on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Y'all make sure y'all check him out every week. They talk a lot of stuff. Remember, Jerome Bolger is a deacon at a church and a Morehouse grad and a Decatur native. I guess integrity might have been lost along the way. Look, I look, you can throw out all the titles he has all you want to, because I'm an elder at a church. I didn't graduate from Morehouse, and I'm an Atlanta native. I don't care where he came from. That was wrong. But the one thing I do bring out about him, and Tidy just sent me this note, so I'm going to try to, I'm going to put this on the screen. Thank you, Tidy. I appreciate that, brother. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to put this, I'm going to share this screen right quick. Where's my share? Here we go. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, y'all. Technical difficulties. There we go. All right. So it says, the reporter asked, there was a third down penalty where the Falcons had a roughing the passer called after sacking Tom Brady that extended the drive. Just looking for clarification on what constituted the roughing the passer. This is Bolger. What I had said was the defender grabbed the quarterback while he was still in the pocket and unnecessarily throwing him to the ground. That is what I was making my decision based upon. The question, the reporter said, that play was similar to the play the injured Miami quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Is that something that you've made specific measures to try to watch out for, the takedowns on quarterbacks like that? Bolger's answer, no, not necessarily. So that's still not good as far as I'm concerned. But, oh, man, that's crazy. Here it is. And another thing, let's give Dean Pease some credit again. I know we've been critical of him, but we gave Brady a little trouble. Pease has his defense going in the right direction. And I'm going to give Dean Pease some credit. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to absolve him 100% from everything, because, yeah, we had a good fourth quarter. And for all of the yards that Tom Brady had in the first quarter, to give up only 13 points, and let's keep it real, we gave them the last three. We actually gave them the last three when Koo missed the field goal. And don't throw Koo to the Wolves. Koo has saved us too many times for me to worry about one missed field goal. But I just think that was just a horrible. Dean Pease does a great job. Put that back way. Dean Pease has done with these young cats. He's done pretty well. And 21 points, folks. 21 points. Sheehan in the house. Mariota is a trash quarterback. He has 56 yards passing in the first half. The rest cheated us, but Mariota is the problem on this team. Ritter cannot be worse than Mariota. I think what's Mariota right now is probably doing exactly what Arthur Smith wants him to. Folks, if y'all have listened to me every time I call on here, I'm not defending Mariota as a special quarterback or whatever. I've said all along, I said it all year, but anybody that wants to listen, Mariota is a game manager. He was not brought in here to throw for 4,000 yards like the other guy that just left. He was not brought in here to have special throws down the field. You know what he's brought in here? To run the offense that Arthur Smith likes to run. And eventually, Mariota is going to take a seat. At what time that is, I don't know. But as long as we're still competitive and as long as we're still in these games, I don't think you're going to see a lot of change. Now, eventually, there are going to be some, phone calls from Arthur Blank and Terry Fontenot to say, hey, bro, can we do any better with Ritter? Can we try this? But the problem with doing that this early, folks, and I know some of y'all have different opinions of this, man, once you go to Ritter, man, you can't go back. And I'm hoping Ritter's ready, but I think I like the way we're doing this. This is about what we thought this team was going to be this year, y'all. But I do understand how people think, hey, let's make this switch right now. Maybe Ritter will throw more accurate passes, which I think he will. But, Jimmy says on Mitchell Schwartz said it was a bad call. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of folks that's going to call this bad. They said, I'm looking forward to the league's explanation on that call. Yeah. And Tavius, what's going on? Says Sharp says it was the worst call he ever saw. It's horrible. And look, and I was telling y'all earlier today, listen to the former players talk about it. Because the former players, most of them who probably played against Brady, have seen this type of bias before. Dude, that was a save Brady play. And it wasn't even that bad. Matter of fact, that might have been the most pillow soft sack you're going to get against Brady. Somebody's going to have to answer for that. Jack says, we've seen this before. Favre, Brady, Rodgers, the NFL protects certain people. You ain't lying. And it's obvious. Do you think the call was made due to concussion protocols after the Tua situation? I do think refs should get fined if there are bad calls being made. Maybe that'll help clean up the game. Now, I do know they are evaluated weekly. And I know that determines whether they get, the showcase games and eventually later on whether they get playoff assignments, because the playoff assignments is an elevated pay for them. So the better they do, usually, that rewards them later on. Yeah, Bulger to me, man, Bulger has always just been in the middle of stuff. Always. And I know he's actually he's actually refereed the Super Bowl. But just always in the middle of something controversial or unexplainable. Just crazy. Philip says certain refs shouldn't be allowed to call Tampa games. Some refs are suspect. I agree. Brigitte says 15 unanswered points in the fourth. That was fantastic to see, even with the L. And if you notice that's kind of been the MO, with the exception of the Saints game. It's really crazy because the Rams game, and then Cleveland, we had the drive. But was that first the running drive? Was that the end? It was the end of the third going into the fourth. So you might as well say fourth quarter as well. And of course, Seattle. So I like the fact that they're now starting to kind of tighten things up in the fourth quarter. You almost wish they could have scored a little bit in the first half, just a little bit. Because look, they were waxing poetic about Tom Brady. Tom Brady has 270, but they were up 13-0. If you told me like last year, when Tom Brady them lit us up for 28 points in the first half, that would be one thing. They had one touchdown the first half. And they had one touchdown the second half. So that also tells you the margin of error in the NFL is very small as well. So at the end of the day, while these calls are critical and these calls are BS and we want to blame the folks for these things, you also have to remember that you have to play. You got to keep it even. You can't go down 21. You can't do it. Not in the NFL today. Hey, maybe Brady should hire the rest to be his attorneys against his wife. He'll win that with no problem. Y'all are ruthless. Ruthless. But this might be true. Mike says, Unc, I got a torn one. I got a new one from John Harris for saying 3 quarters we did nothing because the game is 4 quarters. Where were the lies? We didn't do anything. And I mean, I don't see the lies in your statement. I don't know. Tell John to drink some Metamucil. Dave said, I'm starting to see signs of life for this defense. The defense is going to be fine, y'all. This is the first year. You got a lot of new parts in there. And I'm going to tell you something, man. Spotlight and asterisk, man. Troy Anderson is going to be nice. Once he kind of gets the hang of things, Troy Anderson is going to be nice. Christian says, Huntley got my attention. He kind of reminds me of TJ Duckett. So funny. Last week, Christian, when he came in the game and got went on the drive they were doing where he got the ball like 8 out of the 10 carries on that touchdown drive against Cleveland, they played ludicrous move, get out the way. If for those of you who remember back in the Georgia Dome, back when Vic, Dunn, and Duckett were running things and they would bring Duckett inside the 5, that was basically kind of his come-in song, almost like a closer, like they do with the Mets with Timmy Trumpet. Anytime Duckett came in, you're so last week when he was running like he was, they started playing that song. So the irony is, yeah, he does run a little bit like Duckett. So maybe that's why they were doing that. Jimmy says Arthur Smith called Bulger. Well, if you called him that, Jimmy, then he'll be looking to get fined if he did. I don't know if he probably said that on the sideline. Jack said, we found out running back moves CP back to receiver. But you know what, though? I just used the rotation, though, Jack. See, the rotation was working. I think you just have an offense that now you can use all three backs and then even a sprinkle of Avery Williams along the way. No, CP can still be that receiver. He absolutely can. But shoot, man, the way he's been running the last few games, prior to the injury, third in the NFL in rushing, I don't know if I want to switch him up too much. Huntley looks like starting to look like a young William Andrews. He definitely brings the thunder with him, though. It's kind of interesting when Christian was talking about TJ Duckett. I think I told you that last week too, Ryan. He reminds me more of TJ Duckett more than he reminds me of William Andrews, because William Andrews had a little bit more speed burst to him. I would almost say this too. I would probably say more Gerald Riggs than William Andrews, in my opinion. Mike said if Brady gets divorced, he's going to come back to say blank to Gazelle. Mark my word, he will be back. He wants another ring. I think this is it for him, man. I think this is it for him. This has cost him personally. I think this is it. Why don't we come out running the ball? They tried to run a little bit. I think Tampa Bay was a little hype. Their defense is a little hype, and give them credit. Listen, we didn't play a scrub defense today. Their secondary is suspect, and then a lot of people got hurt at the end. Their front seven, Tampa's front seven is one of the best front sevens in the NFL. I mean, dude, you talking about Devin White, talking about Levante David, Vita Vea, what's my boy name? Shaq, Shaq Barrett. I mean, there's some dogs on that Tampa Bay defense. So it didn't shock me that they did what they did in the first half. Kind of shocked me what they did in the second half. I think they kind of wore Tampa Bay down in the second half. I think they really did wear them down. Rusty, what's going on, brother? Says ridiculous. AS should go off on the NFL this week and get fined. Nobody would blame him. But I will say this. I have a feeling this might bring the team together even more. We're going to go on a run. Watch. Rusty, I agree with you 100%. I was earlier on the show with my brother, Antoine Smitty Smith. You guys on YouTube, check him out if you haven't already on YouTube. But he was saying the exact same thing. Moments like this and games like this could turn into, okay, the NFL is against us. And you could flip that around and now kind of, like, okay, the world was against us, So I don't know. Maybe they can use that. Jimmy says, on the sideline. My brother Mustafa, what's going on, my friend? Salute. I'm not a fan, but it was BS at its finest. If he doesn't follow through with that tackle, Brady would still be standing. No malicious act occurred. Brother, you are putting it right on. Again, if you look at the tackle, just like Mustafa said, if he doesn't pull Brady down, Brady is still able to cock and throw the ball down the field. You've got to tackle him like that. So it's almost like he go back, everybody, and look at the tackle. He didn't hit him high. He didn't hit him low. He hit him center mass and flipped him over because the only way you were going to stop his throwing motion was to bring him back. So Dre says, Steve, do you think the passing would have opened up more with Pitts in the game? I think so. I think because Pitts is going to get attention. With Pitts in there, Pitts will draw attention. That would have helped Drake out a little bit, even though Drake did pretty well today. 4 catches, 35 yards. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but he made some critical catches, including 1 third down play on the sideline that was really good. Red, what's going on, Red? Red said play was lost, not the game. Game was lost by us going scoreless. Okay, Red, go ahead. Red is one of them cats that yeah, Red. It's a bad call. I agree, but it was typical. Red is a frustrated fan that doesn't want to see the way you do, man. Go put your shades on, bro. Put your shades back on, man, and be the hater. RJ says that was straight up cheating. No better way to put dumb call on AJ and even worse on Grady. Yeah, and like I said, I don't want people to miss the AJ call earlier. The AJ call was just as bad as the Grady, not as obvious as Grady, but it was a bad call too. Red does say something smart. Let's be upset for being cheap and not hiring full-time refs. That actually is too. We do need to have full-time refs, no doubt. Christian says sounds like burglar, hamburglar. What ref name is Bulger? Time to retire. His brother is actually a referee too. I saw his brother out there too. Robinson said, if I ever see Bulger in public, there's going to be some products on the floor in the produce section. Now, I'm not suggesting violence, folks. Let the man get his groceries if he happens to do that. Now, I mean, we all make mistakes, but just to make a blatant mistake, again, if I see any checks written to Bulger from Tom Brady Foundation, I'm going to have a problem. Lisa, how you doing? Say, y'all, we haven't played a complete 4 quarters of football yet. I'm looking forward to when we can put it all together. And that's true. But you know what, Lisa, this is true. I keep hearing everybody say that. And it's a true statement. But as they were talking about last week, there have been more one-score games in the NFL this year than any year previously in history. So what that's telling me is we're one play away on each side. So what I've seen aside of the Saints game for the last four quarters for us is that our team has definitely gotten better as the game has gone on, whether it be running game, whether it be defense. It seems like we've had a little bit of chemistry as far as getting the game together. Now, again, I want the utopia of the 4 quarters as well. But look, you're one play away. You can argue every game we've been in one play away. New Orleans, of course, the fumble for Mariota. The Rams, the interception in the end zone. The Seattle game, interception off of Geno. Last week, interception off Jacoby. Today, the bogus penalty call. So, I mean, you know, I don't want to, you know, sit here and just act like 4 quarters of a perfect game is going to get a win. It'll probably get a win every time, but sometimes it's about ending strong. And we ended strong today. And it's unfortunate that it was taken out of our hands. Sean says 2 missed field goals on the year. You're talking about Kuz missed one on that. He's missed 3, right? Is it just 2? Okay. Either way, that's good. That's good. Only 2 misses, 5 games. Jimmy says the Kuz miss was bad because they got 3 that we missed. Had they not, we would have had a different game. Yeah, that was a swing. And I was explaining that for all the yards Brady threw, they only scored 1 touchdown in the first half. It wasn't like it was this huge slaughter. We were bending but not breaking, which is basically what we've done every year. I think the LA Ram game is the only one when we kind of let it hang loose a little bit. Comeback. Dre says, I think if a ref made a bad call, he needs to be suspended, hand down, hold them accountable for their actions, just like players agree or disagree. Suspension, listen, if you make wrong calls, again, the referee thing, I mean, it's human nature. They can't review those calls. So it's those particular calls, we trust that the referees make the right call. Now, suspension is strong. Now, if you're talking about something where you have absolute truth that the call they made back there, he was yucking it up with Tom Brady, or they got a call right after talking about something. Thanks, Jerome. Then you talk about suspension. I think human nature, just bad call, just bad call, and he's human and it's messed up. Red says Mariota just managing the game, and again, you're right. There's nothing about Mariota right now that screams starting quarterback in the NFL. The plus that Mariota has for him is that he knows Arthur Smith's offense. That's it. Other than knowing that offense, there is nothing more than Mariota is giving you. Now, today, he made a couple of nice plays, and that's fine. Ran well. But if we had some elevated talent at that position, there's no doubt in my mind that I think we could be a little bit better. And who knows? Maybe we are waiting for the right time to push the Ritter button. But I hope Ritter's ready. I think a lot of us are still under the impression that just because Ritter comes in, all of a sudden things will change. These guys got to get used to Ritter. I know they see him in practice, but they got to get used to him and get confidence in him in real time. And maybe we're about a week away from that, a week or two. Christian says Dean Pease brought out confidence in these young guys. I agree with that. They're playing much better than last year. Rusty said we run a lot of the same formations in Buffalo run. Difference is we are run first and Buffalo is pass first. We mirror each other. Wish they could run like us and wish we could pass like them. The problem is, Rusty, you're absolutely right about us kind of mirroring that offense a little bit. They have a true thrower. They have a true passer. And right now we just don't. Mariota is not that guy. When I see you throwing up balls down the field, I'm trying to think, has he hit one deep pass this year? If memory serves me correct, I think he might have hit one against New Orleans, maybe. But every deep pass he's thrown this year has been, well, if you're going to throw it past them and let them run to it. But I think he's hit maybe one deep pass this year. You got to have somebody who can be accurate, man. Dude's not accurate. And I'm going to respect him as the Falcon quarterback, but dude's not accurate, man. D, what's going on? D said he coached, it's okay. We got them at the end of the season. Let's keep this train rolling, get ready for the 49ers. I hear you. Keep the momentum rolling. Facebook user says the ref shouldn't be fined for this call. Dude should be fired. Look, I thought you were about to be easy on him. Oh, man. Arthur said he wants to wear teams down and take over late. And look, that's a good philosophy. It's just a little bit short today. Need a little bit more from the offense there. You can't get shut out in the first half. You can't. Even in a game like this, the difference between scoring one touchdown, as you see at the end of the game, could have been the difference between, it could have really been backbreaking for Tampa Bay. I love that the team keeps fighting. We're reversing old trends. Now, when we're down, I feel like we'll get back in it. That's culture. The culture is different. There's a different culture going on right now. People can't understand that. It's a different culture. George, what's going on, George? How you doing, brother? Say Arthur went off the NFL script when he went for 2 momentum changes. And I was sitting here talking to, we were talking earlier, I think, on Smitty's show. And I thought about that during the game. I said, why is he going for 2? You know why you go for 2 right there? And he explained it, and it makes a lot of sense. You give your guys confidence that my coach says we can get that 2 points. We've been struggling all day on offense, but I believe in this moment, you can get these 2 points. Gators in the house on Uncle Steve's Loud. Glad I didn't see that sack, man. You need to go see it, Gator. You're gonna be saying, what in the world is going on? It's absolutely crazy. Philip says London didn't drop nothing. His catch radius is wild. And remember, Philip, how when we drafted him, a lot of folks wasn't thinking he was supposed to be the first one drafted. A lot of people said Olive. A lot of people was thinking even Trayvon Burks. A lot of people were not thinking about Drake London as that first wide receiver, and he's so far doing well. Clayton says, yeah, we did wet them around. The refs effed it up. Christian says, after rewatching the Grady sack on Brady, it looks like Brady. Let's try that again. After rewatching the Grady sack on Brady, it looks like Brady tried to kick him. And again, it's one of those things where the Brady rules, almost like the Jordan rules. Like, how dare you throw me down? How dare you tackle me? It's ridiculous, man. Rusty says, I think roughing should be reviewable like targeting in college. And it's so funny. Right before you came in, Rusty, I literally said that. If it's gonna be a 15-yard penalty in the fourth, and maybe it's late. If it's gonna be a 15-yard penalty that's gonna give a team a first down, I think it should be reviewed, especially if you're talking about unnecessary roughness. I know pass interference has been one of those calls that people want to see reviewed and stuff like that. I know that's kind of like in the eyes of the referee. But when you start talking about stuff like unnecessary roughness, that's tough. People need to go back and look at that. Say, now I wish he had slammed him, but if he was going to get the call. I know that's right. Get your money's worth out of it. Get your money's worth out of it. Absolutely. Sheehan says, thank you for the shout out. Say anytime, brother. I subscribe to Smitty's channel on the running back rotations. I would call Huntley, TJ Duckett, or Michael Turner. Algiers is more likely like Coleman. I'll give props to run blocking of the offensive line, and Lindstrom is the truth. McGarry is still a turnstile, but at least he had one side of the line fixed. Now, I'll give McGarry some credit, Jen. When they're running the ball, that right side is the side to go on. McGarry and Lindstrom take care of business when on running. Yeah, pass blocking, he's still a little suspect. But I like the comparison to TJ Duckett and Michael Turner. And boy, Michael Turner never gets enough credit in my book for what he did for the franchise those first 5 years from when he first got here to Atlanta, man. Turner was a major reason we had 5 straight winning seasons. That run game was good, and not forgetting what Jason Snelling did for us, as well as his backup. That was some really good running back there, but great comparison. Clayton said the reason the ref called it because of the step over Tom when he got YP, which is BS. Yeah, I just thought it was a BS call, man. Somebody just wanted to look out for Tom Brady. That's what that was. Facebook says the Brady rule. I just thought about that. Yeah. Rusty says, I think RTP should be reviewable, like targeting is in college. Bad call on AJ, bad no call on Alford, and bad call on Grady. That's 3 in a row. Refs need to start getting fined. Now, it wasn't roughing the passer, though, Rusty. It was unnecessary roughness. So, and to me, I think that's almost saying you hit, in my opinion, when he said unnecessary roughness, that means you hit me too hard. That's what it screams to me. Roughing the passer, to me, roughing the passer is when they've already let go of the ball, and usually they hit them after that. Unnecessary roughness, that, ugh. I said again, I can't wait to get off here and start looking at some people's ideas of RJ says D. Alford is playing some dang good ball in the secondary. He is. Actually, he is. Facebook user says, "Oh, we can't call that a mistake." Oh, I'm trying to see what you're talking about. I'm sorry, I'm probably a little behind in my things. David says, "Calming down now. Thanks goodness for London's strong hands because that pass was way short, and love the direction we're headed in." And that's the key thing, y'all. The fact that we're sitting here frustrated about a play that could have been winning. Think about the last 2 years. How many times have we been in games where it's been competitive for 5 straight games? It hasn't been. We've had some really bad play. So I like it. I like the direction we're going in. Somebody else says too, I like where our birds are headed. This never say die attitude will pay dividends in the future. That was a great defense we played, and they needed ref assistance to win. Oh man. Facebook user says, "I'm calling it now. Playoffs, 9 wins, 7 seeds. Save my post. I got you. You got to tell me who you are, though, so I can see." John comes back. Suppose that our offense is going to be a quarterback managing offense. Do we need? Let me see. I think I see you right there. Suppose that a quarterback managing a game is Smith's offense philosophy. I don't think it is totally. I think this is. I know people don't want to hear this, especially now that we start playing games. 2022, contrary to anything that they might be trying to feed you, we are bridging the gap. We are bridging the gap to next year to where we can get all this bad money off the books and we can start truly paying for some talent to come up in here. So, look, this doesn't mean don't try to win games. So they're going to try to win some games. Mariota is a stopgap quarterback, folks. I don't know how else to say it to you. And that's not telling you that I'm accepting that that's our ceiling, because he's going to have 1 or 2 plays where he's going to surprise you. But at the end of the day, that's right now what we have. He's hoping that Ritter can come out and be like Mahomes, sit down for a little bit, the end of the year, get your feet wet. And then by the time 2023 started, you're ready for action. And you'll have everything else around you nice and oiled up. Got an offense. Everybody knows the offense. You got a defense with a year under your belt with Dean Pease that's ready to roll. You got more experience with Anderson. Got AK ready to show out in his second year. I mean, this is a process. I know we don't like hearing that as fans, but it's a process. And at times, we don't like the process, but it's going to take time for this to click. And I'm hoping that we do have the 9 wins. I'm sure I'll be there to root for it. But just, And while y'all talk about Mariota not being the man, how good was the TV throw to Zach? To Zach, you mean to OZ, and the conversion throw. The conversion throw, he put it there where the receiver had to catch the ball. I don't know. The OZ throw was good. He was in the middle. I mean, they just didn't check OZ. Antoine Smith says, "Say you still gonna appreciate you, my brother." Look, Smitty, I'm getting a lot of this out of my chest after I ate. So now that I eaten, I'm ready to roll. Now we gonna get back into it. So I'm gonna go on here for a few more minutes, and then we get some stuff. And y'all make sure y'all check Smitty out on Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube. Again, man, just some good content. And me and him chopped it up after the game. Boy, he was a good counselor to me. Absolutely. Rusty says TB got up crying for that call. He did. I saw that. Avery needs to stay, punt, and kick return, but that's his main thing, though, Clay. Now, I don't think that right now he's getting carries because CP is hurt. When CP comes back, you might see Avery in the backfield maybe twice. Right now, he's in there because they usually have 3 people in the rotation. So you're not going to see Avery running the ball that much. He only had 3 carries today. So say that right side is Maulers, as you're talking about McGarry and Lindstrom in the run game. Absolutely. Dre says, Steve, with John Harris, how many points were left on the field? Oh, he's coming. You know, John, I have that drive chart up this week. Steve, I'm doing something different, not in ABG anymore. I'm letting all my stuff on YouTube now. Okay, great. Because decided to use Smitty, Alberto, and a couple more Falcon pages. Love the show y'all do. Keep it up, brother. We appreciate that, brother. I'm gonna go right back to you and do the same thing, man. Thank you, Rusty. We appreciate that, man. A lot of different world out in the YouTube universe. I love it, man. Yes, sir. It said Douglas Astros already support each other. Absolutely, brother. All day, all night. RJ said, no, that London one-handed catch was sick, staying in bounds, man. Yeah, man. Okay, yeah, absolutely. It was awesome. Norman says our Falcons didn't give up against a team like Tampa Bay. Matter of fact, not against any team that we played so far. Love the culture change. You said it again. Culture change. Culture change. Tidy says Avery Williams is a football player. I give him a few reps in the slot. And again, look at the little the kickoff return today. He almost slipped around and took that bad boy to the house. And not only that, think about the touchdown run. He did a 360. He spent 360. Am I right? Is that 360 or 180? Okay, whatever it was. He turned around and scored a touchdown on that play. Yeah, Avery Williams is crucial. What's up, brother Armani of the lucky Alabama Crimson Tide and that lucky win they had against Texas A&M yesterday? Saying, Uncle, I hope Giselle takes that ML for everything. I'm still looking pass rusher first round next year. Defense has got to be top of the line. If anything, I would get offense through free agency if I were the Falcons. But yeah, defense, get some young cats. Clayton says we need a number 2 receiver to open somebody. Yep. Philip said we don't have to depend on the draft next season. We will have the money to get what we need. Lamar looking real good, man. Philip, I told people that earlier at the beginning of the year. If Baltimore doesn't slap the franchise tag on him, you got to think about it. You have the money to do it. Clayton said I count at least 17 points left with field goal misses and some 3 and outs. Yeah. David says, as far as the Mariota Ritter dynamic is concerned, my humble opinion, if we finish this murderer's row stretch at 2-5, we'll see who's projected in that 7th playoff spot and evaluate whether we can catch them or not. If we can, leave Mariota in. If we can't, 10 games is well enough time to evaluate Ritter and see if we need to go back into the draft and get one or if he's the man. And that's true. We do have San Francisco next week, Cincinnati the week after, and then it softens up a little bit with Carolina. So yeah, that's actually a really good timeline, brother. Armani says we got lucky again, A&M, and y'all got lucky against Missouri. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Bulldogs played Auburn yesterday. Don't get it twisted, man. I think we played Missouri about 4 months ago or something. The AP have y'all. Look, the AP has Alabama at number 3, which I think is ridiculous. They have y'all under. I'm almost positive I saw that. Let me make sure I saw that right. Yeah, the AP has Georgia number 1, Ohio State number 2, and Alabama number 3. Now, again, I'm playing with you because obviously it doesn't matter as long as you're in the first 4 spots. If Georgia and Alabama go undefeated by the end of the year and just get through the regular season, they're both in, and I don't care who wins or who loses. So, yeah, but I thought that was weird, interesting that Ohio State jumps up to that particular spot and grabs number 2. But I guess when you start thinking about, Ohio State has been running over the Big Ten. Our body says, you know what I'm talking about. As long as we're at the top. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stay in the top 4, brother. We'll be talking at the end of the year. Listen, y'all, I've been on an hour. I've been on an hour with Smitty. Stop for a quick second to grab something. I'm going to finally take my break at 7 o'clock, try to catch some of these West Coast games coming in. I see Dallas still up on the Rams, which is not surprising. The Rams are a very interesting team this year. Join me for the aftermath tomorrow. So I'll be on the aftermath tomorrow at, I'm hoping 6 o'clock. I usually try to come on after y'all watch Tidy in the Atlanta Bird game. He usually does his player grades after that. And I say 6 o'clock, whatever time Tidy finishes, I'll be on for the aftermath because Tidy might come on a little later. So look for Tidy to do his player grades and coaching grades tomorrow. And then after that, probably not too long after he comes on, and I'll be on to finish that. Don't forget to subscribe in Atlanta Bird. And don't forget to subscribe in Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. I appreciate y'all. We almost at 800, man. Y'all continue to support. I appreciate it. I'm trying to give it back to y'all by giving some real fan reaction, folks. You might not get the X and O's here, but you're going to get the fan reaction for what we have. Until then, man, y'all have a good one, man. Tough day. Love what the Falcons are doing. Definitely don't want to accept L's, but yeah, somehow Brady L's always have an asterisk by them, don't they? Until then, man, y'all take care. Peace. Be good.